Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Thursday, July 4th. I bet y'all thought I wasn't going to come up here today. It is the morning due for certified doers, just like you. So grateful to have you here. I'm going to be on, I'm going to be brief, and I'm going to be off today because number one, I don't suspect none of y'all up. number number two, I got some business this morning. But super grateful. Just want to run through some of the things that have happened this past week because we've had two very major sort of events happen, and then what we have going on in the coming weeks. I'll lead with. I am hoping. Good morning, Mr. Little. Good morning. I'm hoping that we're going to catch you guys at our next live roundtable. If you missed the live roundtable that we did last month with about social media in youth, you can catch it on the flip side. I think you need to see it. It's just one of those things. What we've decided to do was do these live roundtables about policy areas that we know we're going to see policy in next year. Like, I know that because I'm the subcommittee chair for the communications, information, and technologies communications subcommittee, that I'm going to see the TikTok bill. I'm going to see limiting scrolls. I'm going to see all these things about minor usage in social media. So that's why we did a live roundtable. We had three young folks, a principal, myself, and then I had the community director, district director on our team, who jumped in and had a lot of conversations with social workers and was in on a part of that process. What's up, Bendo? Times two. Uh, so that was a really good roundtable, right? It's live. You can be a part of it. It's just real cool. The next live roundtable that we'll have will be on July 16th, and that one will be about childcare. And the goal is to really talk about where we are in Norfolk with regards to childcare, really in the Hampton Roads area, because I don't think any problem that we have in our city can be solved. Not any. There are very few big problems that we can solve as a city alone. A lot of those issues have to be solved as a region and need state support to make it happen. And so that's why we're doing that. It'll be at 6. It's an hour long. It's just an hour of your life from 6 to 7 on July 16th. Got that. So the next round table is on childcare. If you know somebody that got childcare issues, know someone that has employees that they having issues with, childcare, you have childcare ideas, this is that time to sort of exchange that information. So I'm hoping we'll see you that Tuesday evening. Secondly, the location is TBD. I keep hearing y'all talking about, so when is summer school? When is summer school? Summer school is July 27th. You have to mark your calendars. Right, we are going to start promptly at 10 a.m. The location right now, we had some hiccups, so we're switching the location. But summer school is where you get in the complete know. It is where you can ask me all the questions about the process. I'm going to teach you the things that people don't want you to know about the legislative process. That's the goal, because doers want to get more done. In order to get more done, you got to know the process. So it'll be a days long sort of event, about 3 hours worth of us going back on the educate, because our goal here is always educate, advocate, celebrate, then legislate. So we're at the legislative pillar where we're going to teach you how to be a better advocate. We're going to celebrate the fact that we know what we're doing a little bit better, and then we're going to go out and figure out how we're going to legislate. The last piece of the of summer school, we are going to have a legislative pitch contest, which should be, I know the legislative pitch contest is scheduled to be at 2 p.m. on July 27th. So summer school starts at 10. The pitch contest is at 2. If you're like, look, Jackie, I don't necessarily need that one-on-one from you. I don't need that learning part. I understand how this process works, but I got some dope legislation and I really want you to carry it. That's when you need to come, and you need to come at 2 p.m. We'll have signups for the pitch contest, and I am hoping that may the best person win. The goal is to have a couple other legislators. We're confirming other legislators there, because I can't carry everything, right? But I carry everything. I cannot present every single bill. It doesn't work that way. I'm not going to be able to carry a bill in every single issue area. That's just not how life works. But we can make space. We can make space for other folks to be able to be a part of that thing of carrying that legislation. So I'm hoping to see you on the 27th. That's a Saturday for summer school for certified doers. If you've got a pitch idea, you've got a legislative idea you want to pitch, you can show up at 2 p.m. for the pitch contest. Sound good? Sound great? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Then on August 10th, mark your calendars, August 10th at Northside Park, we will be having Certified Doer Field Day. Look, sometimes I just want to kick it with y'all. Sometimes I just want to have conversation, have fun, like not worry about what's happening next. So that's what August 10th is about at Northside Park. I do not want to say the start time because I feel like somebody on my team will backslap me and say that's the wrong time. But I do know it's August 10th. I believe we're starting at 11. I don't quote me on it. I don't want to get in no trouble. If my team don't beat me up. But that it's just a field day. I realize at the end of the school year, my daughter has field days, and I'm like, I won't want to. Let's go have a good time. So that's what that'll be on August 10th. I want to backtrack a bit, specifically about the legislative piece for those of you guys who are interested in summer school for certified doers. I just want to put this on your mind is that this next year, we're planning for 2025, right? Our minds is exercising, getting ready for 2025. And for 2025, because it's a short year, meaning because it's an odd year, we have a short session. Does that make sense? This year was long, and you probably heard a lot of conversation about budgets, and because we had to create, this was the first budget that our current governor creates, and that budget lasts for 2 years, right? Lasts for 2 years. So this budget will be for this year, and next year we'll make changes. So in a short year, we don't get to carry as much legislation as we want. In my experience, it has been on odd years, we're only allowed to carry about 15 bills, which I think is perfect, quite honestly, but I'll be able to carry, that's where my mindset is that I'll only be able to carry 15 bills. So if you come in with it for the pitch contest, if you're trying to come at it for the pitch contest, come with it, be ready. And if you're not sure how to be ready for that bill, that's why you got to go to summer school. Okay. Boom, that part. Let's roll into the week's event. If you've been paying attention to the news, there's been a lot of conversation about the Virginia military spouse and dependent education waiver, right? That is a waiver that was created some years ago in the General Assembly for universities to waive the cost of college for folks whose children, dependents, and self are 100% disabled, or actually, let me backtrack. It used to be for those who were permanently injured or lost their lives, right? Those families. 2 years ago, 2019, there was an amendment. And when I say amendment, good morning, Spirit and One. There was an amendment, a change where they opened this program up to anyone that was 100%, and it didn't have to deal with being at war or combat related. And then I think, in 2017 that happened, and then 2019 or maybe 2020, I'm mixing up the years, no matter. Within the last 5 years, all these changes happened. They added stepchildren. So that opened up the program very widely. It expanded very significantly, more folks. And then, we just got a lot more folks that went to war. The global war on terror and Operation Iraqi Freedom were two very big campaigns. So you have a lot of death, and also a lot of folks that are veterans that are have physical and invisible wounds because of that war. This program, through our budget, was changed. So it didn't go through the legislative process that we're going to learn about on June 27th. It didn't go through the legislative process that we're going to learn about on June 27th. It was done through the budget. There was a lot of hoopla about it, rightfully so, because it makes us look like we are not trying to pull a transparent process. It looks like we're trying to put something. It's the same thing that happened to the earned sentencing credits way back when. If you're familiar with what happened when we did the earned sentencing credits, and then in the budget, the governor made changes to the program, essentially making it null and void, right? Like, that part that happened with this program. It lacks transparency. It lacks there. In my own words, it is a substandard way to do policy making through a budget, right? A budget is your values, but if you're making policy, it needs to go through the process. Um, so there was some back and forth over this, what was to happen, what wasn't to happen. And just yesterday, I believe there was a deal reached. The issue was there's just a difference of opinion on how we were going to do this in the Senate and in the House. Uh, and there was some back and forth over that, and they ended up, deciding to take away all of that mess we did in the budget, right? Because when you do something wrong, you fix it, right? So when I can take responsibility for that too. I voted for the budget, even though it was a huge document. Like, I have my things. Like, I'm not cool with what happened, but I have to own that I was a part of that, right? I was a part of that process, and so you own the solution. And then they went ahead and funded the program. So realizing that the program was not necessarily us providing money to institutions, it was institutions waiving the cost of the college, right? And so what's happening now is that not only are they still going to be able to waive that cost, but now the state is now has money in the game to help the colleges for the funding that they're losing. So it's not really I guess ultimately it's not going to be a tuition waiver program. We were kicking and screaming, at least in our office, trying to tell people this didn't just affect military folks, it affected first responders. And what's unfortunate is I had several people tell us that's not true. And then that came to light. So I want you to know that in this office, we do our best to do our due diligence. Oftentimes, and I need to do a better job with getting on here, but I don't think I mentioned to many of you. I had illness in the family, so there's just been a real lack of ability to do the things that way I used to do them. So we're getting in the flow there. I got 3 more minutes, and then I'm out of here. Y'all got some things to do this morning. So let me say that too. I'm going to be in Suburban Acres today for their sidewalk 4th of July parade and ice cream social. So Suburban Acres, can't wait to see you today. The last thing that I want to talk about is a news article that came out from WHRO. Right. So if you've been paying attention, actually, you should follow WHRO. I think one of the more, I don't mean credible, but one of the more thorough, I'd say, news sites that we have. It's public access. Right. So, Sesame Street falls under some saying NPR things fall under that. So like, hey, I see you changed your name, or miss you, Creative Southern Capital, get paid with me now. But so the other piece is the article that came out about WHRO that said that I went to the school board and said that we are lacking communication with the superintendent. That is not false. That is real. And I get people both ways. It's like, why would you go to the school board? And, or why not? I have children. I have little citizens in Norfolk Public Schools. My son just graduated. And I know that their educational journey has been helped by my advocacy, right? Like I know this. I know that if they didn't have me as their advocate, or I didn't teach them how to advocate for themselves, that there have been several situations where they might not have been in a good place. Not every child has that in their life. Not every parent has the bandwidth to do some of the things that we've been able to do. But like, I have the privilege and luxury of being able to do the way I can show up for my little citizens, or the acumen, because I've met people who said, when I go into school, I don't want to feel dumb. I don't want to be made to feel a certain way. And so we spent, myself and my colleagues at the state level have spent some time trying to build a relationship with the school system in a way that helps us be better advocates for Norfolk Public Schools. Because let me tell you, there are amazing things going on in Norfolk Public Schools. Like, my son is leaving with a certification in early childhood development, right? Because he went to TCC while he was in school. There are some other things that are happening where I hear from parents about cyber crimes and hate crimes, all these different things. Parents saying they're not being listened to, teachers saying that they're being bit by a teenage kid, and officers saying these kids are trying to touch my gun. Like, these kids are wild. It's really wild up in here, and just things that are happening where we have to have a good relationship with our school system in order to take the next step. So if you get a chance to read the article, read the article. What I said what I said, and I meant it, that I just want to build a healthy relationship, because in order to be the best advocate for our schools, we have to have a relationship with the people that are leading our schools, to include the school board and the superintendent. We did get the opportunity to meet with the chair of the school board, who's the new chair, Tiffany Buffalo, who talked to us a bit about, where they are, where they're going. But we are part of the funding process of our school system. So it's really important that we have a good relationship. That is it. That is all. I got to piece out of here, right? I got to get up out of here for the morning, but I will be at Suburban Acres. Keep your eyes out for all the things we have coming up. Certified Doer Field Day, August 10th. Our roundtable, July 16th on childcare. Summer school for certified doers, and then the pitch contest that same day. If you've got a policy area that you're looking to get into, don't hesitate to reach out and connect with us. Until next time, I am Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, the late stuff legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Cannot wait to see you in these streets. Good morning, Miss Charlene. I always miss seeing you. All right. Catch you on the flip side. See you. Be well. Go get something done. And if you're just that's relaxing, rest is resistance. Remember that. Get some rest.